Our guest today is the brand new, just released Mokwheel Onyx. This is a mid-drive hunting bike, and it is built to handle the rigors of that environment. And you can see the cues of that all over the place, not least of which is the mid-drive. It has a much higher spec Q's rear derailleur paired with a 10-speed cassette and shifter, and it runs a much higher quality shifter. We'll talk about that in a second. And most notably, right off the bat, being full suspension, it has this incredible double crown front fork. This is burly. It's like a little motorcycle. It's running the 4-bar rear suspension at the back with a air shock, which is easier to tune based on your weight, and it has damping adjustments. We don't normally see that on these e-bikes. It has this manual dropper post. This is a big deal, and this is a big deal because when you're in rugged environments, you can hit this lever, the seat goes down, and it makes it easier for you to navigate that kind of terrain. But when it gets smooth again, you hit this lever, the seat goes back up, and now you're in the proper position for pedaling. Dropper posts are on every professional high-end mountain bike that you buy these days, and it's fantastic to see it on this. Now let's look at the gauges. It has the adjustable stem, but also look at where they placed the gauge, in the top of the stem. Is that not fantastic? I mean, I just love it. It looks absolutely incredible. We have the much higher spec shifter. It's a trigger shifter. You use your thumb to shift it one way and your forefinger to shift it the other way. I love this system. This is a really nice shifter, and it's running a nice super high spec hydraulic brake, which is absolutely appropriate for this bike at this price point, and I love it. The switch pod is pretty simple. Again, I prefer them like this. The ones that have just a ton of buttons on them are just confusing and overwhelming, and you only use a few buttons anyway. And lastly, we have our thumb throttle over here. Since this is the mid-drive, it really wants you pedaling. It puts out more power when you're pedaling. It doesn't really matter where the thumb drive is because mid-drives work better without them. Oh, we should also mention it has a 1,000 watt motor paired with a 20 amp hour battery, UL certified Samsung battery. So you know it's safe, you can plug it in, you're not gonna have to worry about it burning down your house or your shed. So that's the specs in a nutshell. This thing's got a lot going on. Adjustable suspension, front and rear, really burly, really robust. I'm pretty sure it's the same chassis as the Obsidian, which we've tested before and absolutely love that bike. That bike is incredible. This takes the Obsidian to the next level with the Onyx. So now let's go see what it's like to ride. And now for the fun part. And right off the bat, just getting up here, the thing is big, it is heavy, it is stable, it is robust. It is all the things that it is promising to be. It is very clearly designed to be off the beaten path, rugged adventure, wandering through the backwoods. The mid-drive delivers just a really appropriate amount of power. That makes it really, what's the word I'm looking for? You feel unstoppable on this thing. It feels like it'll go over anything, climb trees, ride over walls, and that makes it fun. So let's take it into our high-speed downhill test. And we will go up to power mode 5, full throttle, and let's see what it'll do down this hill. And because it is big and heavy, well, it's claiming 31. It doesn't feel like 31 miles an hour. 33, 34, 35, 36. I mean, maybe it's going that fast. 37. That makes this pretty quick. I mean, it is heavy, so the gravity should be pulling it down at a pretty good clip. Got the big giant wheels on it, double crown fork. So through our S-curve, it should feel really good. And it absolutely does. I'm gonna drop the seat for a little bit more cornering stability, raise the seat back up again. Yeah, this thing's quick, right? As soon as I start pedaling, it just launches off. I don't trust the speedometer. I was farting around in the settings because you hold down the plus and the minus button and you can you get into the secret menu. And I put it into pedal assist 3, which is the faster version. I guess it would make it a class 3 e-bike technically. And it had, you know, speed sensor based on wheel size. It was kind of confusing. Does it want the diameter of the wheel and tire or the size of the wheel itself? I set it to the size of the wheel itself, and perhaps that's why the speedometer doesn't feel quite right. I just don't feel like I'm going 21 miles an hour. But maybe the thing is so stable that it masks how quick it is, because it is stable. It's designed for off-road adventuring, dirt roads and big chunky trails. So it needs to be stable. It needs to be robust. And so far, it is that in spades, while also being unbelievably planted through those corners. Now for our 11% grade uphill, throttle only, no pedaling. Because it is mid-drive, you do want to be in the appropriate gear. And it looks like pedal assist doesn't kick in until it thinks it's at 20 miles an hour. So it's doing 16, 15 indicated, which is on par with about every bike that we test. It does about this speed up this 11% grade. So consistent at least. Oh, up the hill. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right, let's go back down to pedal mode 1 since we're going, or pedal assist 1 since we're going downhill. Let's talk about the gauges on this thing. This is far and away the prettiest one we have ever. Like, I just love, crazy about putting the gauge into the top of the stem like this. Let me make sure the camera's pointing down so you can see it. This is stunning. This is so pretty. I mean, you're paying for it. This is not one of the cheaper bikes that we've reviewed, but that looks amazing. I think we can all agree. So, nice traditional Mokwheel, comfortable grips, analog bell, hydraulic brakes, which feel fantastic. It has a much higher spec Shimano shifter with the thumb and the forefinger trigger shifting, which is so much better. It is so much better, and it shifts extremely well. And then the switchgear itself is really simple, and I really prefer the simpler ones. You know, power mode up and down. It has turn signal buttons, even though it doesn't have turn signals on it, but you use those to navigate the menu, and then the power on and off button. Super simple. And then a thumb throttle. We gotta test our bell. It's an analog bell, and I think it's touching something. Yeah, I think the bell itself is touching the thing. So underperformance on the bell, but it's an easy fix. It's just like tweaking the adjustment on the bell itself. It feels like a motorcycle, it rides like a motorcycle, but the brakes are set up like an American bicycle. You know, I don't have the answer to this, but these all feel like little motorcycles. And legislators in the United States in like the 1910s decided that the front brake should not be in the dominant hand. So the rest of the world, motorcycles, everything else in the world, the front brake's on the right. Yet in America, we put the front brake on the left because legislators, you know, 120 years ago were afraid that we would loop over the handlebars. So now we're in the quandary of the front brake is over here. And if you're like a motorcycle person or you ride motorcycles or whatever, it's backwards. Now, if you're a bicycle person in America, this is gonna feel very normal. It's easy enough to swap them from side to side if you wanted to. You just undo these little thread things right here and you pop them off, and it's a super simple swap. Now, because this is a mid-drive torque sensor, and I'm a big fan of the torque sensor, torque sensors are better in every way. It sees how hard you're pushing on the pedals and delivers power appropriately. Oh, we need to do our single track test. Let's do our single track test. We know it's gonna do great. Woohoo! Yeah, fantastic. In fact, it's more fun here than it is on the paved trails. And the dropper post, if you're not familiar with the dropper post, it transforms a bicycle. By being able to lower the seat, it makes it so much easier to navigate sometimes the more rugged terrain. So love that it has that feature on it. But pedaling around the park, it behaves like any other e-bike. It is quick, it is stable, and it is fun. Absolutely a lot of fun, as are all of these e-bikes. You know, obviously this is geared towards a very specific demographic, but it doesn't have to be. You don't need to be a hunter to purchase this thing. It comes in other colors. You don't have to get the jungle camouflage. But if you live in the part of the world that you live in, maybe does not have bike paths, you're dealing with more single track and a little bit more countryside, this could really be the bike for you. It will do pretty much anything you ask of it, which makes it an incredibly dynamic platform. All right, let's get ready for our laps around the park. Beautiful, beautiful summer morning. Just love it. Miata guy's paying attention. How nice is that? All right, let's up our power mode. Let's go to full in power mode 5 and see what it does. And I do really wonder what my actual speed is, because I don't know if this is 20 miles an hour. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I keep coming back to that. But makes it up that hill, only losing 1 mile an hour. And that tells you right there that it's got a big motor in it. It's got a big battery in it. It's an 80-mile range. I suspect it's an 80-mile range if you put it into pedal assist 2. You put it in the lower mode. And you know, if you're in a situation where you're trying to get the most distance out of it you can control that. The other really great thing about Mokwheel is they have a massive range of accessories. And the one that is most compelling to me is the solar panels. You can buy a solar panel kit that unfolds. So say you are taking it out into the backwoods, or you're out camping and, you know, off the grid. Well, you just set up the solar panel when you're not using this thing and get free electricity from the sun. How nifty is that? You can really, really extend the usable range, the usefulness of the bike, simply by picking up that solar panel. Yes, really nice and stable through here. Love it. And quick. This is a unique bike because I can hear the motor going and I'm pedaling at 25, 26, and it's giving me power. 27, yeah, and it's still giving me power. 28, I have to get off the power through our narrow little gate, little choke point. Yeah, awfully quick. I think I'm the fastest thing in the park today. Full suspension. Mentioned this earlier, it's running the 4-bar rear suspension system, which is a proven system used on professional high-end mountain bikes all the time. And you can tell, even just the seams and bumps in the road, it's very planted, very, very stable. And now we get ready for the adventure portion of our test ride, which based on the configuration of this bike is not going to, I don't think this is gonna challenge this bike in the least, but we're gonna do it because that's what we do here at Fox Rides. Consistent testing, run every bike through the same test. So you can go through the catalog and find the bike that best meets your needs. Oh yeah, super stable. You can hear the rear fender making a little bit of noise. It's just a way those fenders are constructed, they do that. Oh yeah, look at that, super good. Not even missing a beat. Through the trees, and I don't think we're gonna have any problem getting up the grassy knoll. Yeah, the pooch. All right, up the hill. Oh, I think I messed it up by pedaling. It went out of motor only mode for a second. As we pedal up the hill, it made it. 7 miles an hour indicated. Not sure how accurate that is, but that's what it says. So yeah, as expected, not a problem through the adventure portion of our test. So now it is time, I think, to put the park behind us and head back up the hill. And even through this more urban setting, the stability and the capability of this thing really comes through. This thing is just a workhorse. So if you're enjoying these videos, please consider clicking like and subscribe. We've been doing this for a little over a year now. And I just love e-bikes. I want to see more of them out in the world. And by clicking like and subscribe, it helps me review more bikes, because I really believe that the hardest part about getting into this is knowing which bike is right for you. And that's our focus. And that's why we use the exact same test track for every bike. So you can go through the catalog, find a bike that works for you, and yeah, so subscribing helps us. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, it makes a huge difference on what we're gonna be able to do. Some of these bikes I pick up on my own, some of these are given to us or sent to us by the companies. And yeah, I'd like to see more people on e-bikes because they're just amazing. But unfortunately, we are now at the portion of the ride where we have to talk about what we don't like about the Mokwheel Onyx. Now, I think this is the 3rd or 4th Mokwheel that we've tested. Overall, I'm a big fan of the brand. I think the quality on them is really good. This one is probably the most expensive e-bike we have tested to date. So I want to be totally honest with you before you plunk down that kind of cash. What don't we like about it? I think for that price point, I feel like it should come with more of the accessories. It should come with the racks, especially. You know, it's a hunting bike. That's what it's kind of being presented as or marketed as. And you're not gonna get this thing without the racks. I mean, you can put the racks on the back and the front. We've tested the racks are exceptional. I do wish it came with those. And the bell, but you know, that bell's pretty minor because at this price point or how this bike is intended to be used, I don't think the bell's that big of a deal. And you can adjust it to improve the ringing. It's just hitting the brake arm right here. So if you're able to just, that's a setup issue, that's not a bell issue. I know a lot of people see an analog bell as kind of a downgrade, and I don't. I've mentioned this in other videos, you know, when you're riding a bike in an urban setting, I've noticed the digital bell, people don't respond as positively to a digital bell as they do an analog bell. The analog bell, people don't get angry about. Maybe there's something disarming about the cute little ringtone. So I prefer the analog bell. Yes, it is expensive. I guess that's the other negative thing about it, but you get so much with it. Every component is a much higher spec part. You know, the super burly adjustable double crown axle fork with the through axle makes it, the front end super stable, way more stable than most of the forks that come on most bikes. The 4-bar suspension at the rear, I mean, that's a suspension system that's still winning Enduro World Series bike races. So, you know, that's good. The 26x4-inch tires are absolutely perfect for this kind of bike. The mid-drive, especially mid-drive with torque sensor, it's the best system out there. The spec'd up hydraulic brakes. I mean, everything about this thing exudes quality. And by it being a Mokwheel, the frame is perfect. The paint's flawless. I mean, not that it'd be hard to find a flaw in this jungle camo paint scheme, but I couldn't find anything wrong with it. It's a really, really good bike. Yes, you're paying for it, but I think in this case, you're getting what you pay for. This thing has a lot going for you. One of the great things about an e-bike, you might be asking, oh, maybe I'll just get buy a cheap used dirt bike. Well, okay. And you can do that. You can certainly get into a little internal combustion engine, ICE engine dirt bike for roughly the same price, but most states you have to register as an off-road vehicle. You have to pay the tax on it. There's also the gas and maintenance and all those other things. These e-bikes are effectively maintenance-free, and I don't think legislation has caught up to the bike yet, or caught up to the industry yet, I should say. The regulations are confusing, they're ambiguous, nobody really knows what to do with them, so you don't have to register them, you don't have to license them, right? It's just a bicycle. Since this is being marketed for more of the off-road hunting market, I do feel compelled to draw or bring to your attention, at least under current administration, if you're on federal lands, this is classified as motorized use. You cannot take this on any old bicycle or hiking trail unless it is specifically marked as a motorized use trail. And I say that because if you do get caught by the Forest Service, BLM, or whomever on a non-motorized use trail with this thing, it's a big fine. So if you are taking this off-road, make sure you're aware of the travel plan in your area so you don't get stuck with a big fine. Now that said, they're allowed on every single dirt road you can find, and 2 tracks or whatever. And this would give you a lot of access to a lot of areas in a way that's silent. And I will tell you, as someone who does a lot of mountain biking, the silence makes a big difference if you're looking for wildlife. I come across a ton of wildlife mountain biking because the vehicle is so quiet. Like just the other day, I came across 3 badgers in the middle of the trail. Seeing a badger is rare. Seeing 2 badgers is almost never. To come across 3 badgers all at once, it was terrifying and exciting. But that wouldn't have happened if you're on something noisy. So keep that in mind. Final thoughts on the Mokwheel Onyx. Jungle camo, 1000 watt, mid-drive, hunting e-bike with dropper post, adjustable suspension. All the features that actually matter when you're in the backwoods. Yeah, it's a little bit more money. It's a little bit expensive, but it comes with all the things that really matter when you're in the backwoods. And when you're in the backwoods, you're off the beaten path, you want something reliable. And, you know, Mokwheel's a known name. It has a good reputation. The build quality is exceptional. We really like them here at Fox Rides. Yeah, this thing is really great. And I think it's filling a niche that not many other e-bikes are really filling, at least not as completely or as thoughtfully as Mokwheel is. So yeah, if you're considering this bike, I kind of think you should, give it a good look-see. Like, go through the specs and see what you think about it. I really like it. I think it does what it promises to do exceptionally well. Now, this one was sent to me by Mokwheel, so that means I have a coupon code for you. So I'm gonna put it up here in the sky. If you use this coupon code, you'll get the best price available on the bike whenever you decide to purchase one of these. And sometimes that might mean some free accessories. I don't know, they change it up all the time. I get a small percentage of that. I get like a couple percentage points of that purchase. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it helps me keep making this content. And I promise I'm taking every penny this channel brings in and I'm putting it right back into the channel because I really love these e-bikes. I think it's fantastic. I think they're great. Thank you so much for riding with me today. I hope you had fun. We'll see you next time.